Welcome back, ladies, gentlemen, and third party of whatever you like to identify as. Thank you for coming back to Clocks on the Stove. Yes, I am in my sister's room. So if you need to make fun of me, go right ahead. The podcast room should be finished within the next 2 weeks, and I will be in there with hopefully a brand new logo for you guys. Stay tuned.
Yeah.
So something that we
I was just gonna say
what was
real
that?
quick. Yeah, real quick. I don't think anyone could bring my morale any lower based off how our picks went this past weekend for college and the NFL. But you know, it's not about how many times you get knocked down. It's about how many times you get back up. And you bet your ass I'm gonna get back up and I'm gonna make some other very questionable bets this week,
Yes,
especially in the NFL.
yes.
Especially.
But yeah, so speaking on that, what we're doing now is instead of just cramming in so much information into one podcast for you guys, we're just gonna separate it to make them shorter, more fun. It's easier for Zach and I schedule. It's more fun for us to make them shorter. So today we're gonna only talk about the football games in the NFL that just happened. That's all we're gonna talk about. We're not gonna talk about what's gonna happen. No, that's it. That's all we're gonna talk about. So let's just dive right in. So we already talked about in the last pod the Steelers Browns game, so we're gonna skip over that guy. Okay, shout out Nick Chubb though, my most consistent player on my fantasy team.
Hmm.
We're gonna dive
Solid,
into
solid.
our first game is Texans Bears. Bears hosting the Texans. Lovey Smith going back to his old stomping grounds, and the Bears pulled away 23-20 on this one. All I have to take away from this game is Zach is the Texans aren't good.
Hmm.
I've never thought they were good. I don't know why. I'm not a big Lovey Smith fan. I don't think he's any good either. Um, their running game really carried them, and their defense did. And Justin Fields is just proven to be another Ohio State quarterback. He went 8 for 17 with 106 yards, 2 picks, and was sacked 5 times for 24 yards with a QBR of 19.4.
Yeah, this is just one of those games where even though one team won and one team lost, it feels like no one really won at the end of the day. I talked last part a little bit about how the Texans had done really solid in their draft with Jalen Petrie and Derek Stingley Jr. Stingley only had 3 tackles and picked up a sack, but Jonathan Petrie had a sack and 2 interceptions with 8 total tackles, 5 solo, 3 assists. So they've been playing solidly defensively. As for the Bears, you really aren't getting anything out of Justin Fields. I mean, 17 pass attempts, barely over 100 yards with 2 picks. I mean, just not working out. One thing that stood out to me though, Khalil Herbert stepping up big time with
Huge. Yeah, huge.
with David Montgomery going down 20 carries for 157 yards, 2 tutties. You know, I don't know if the Bears just continually force the passing game or if they're just really bad at picking when they choose to run the ball. I feel like they should be dominating the run game, which their players have shown. Montgomery's solid. Herbert's showing even more promise than before, given more starting roles and opportunities. So I'm liking what I'm seeing out of him. But yeah, not a good showing for either team. Texans moved to 0-2-1. Bears finally pick up a win. Um,
They
as
beat the 49ers. They're 2-1.
oh yeah, they're 2-1. Sorry, but terrible 2-1 team. I'll
Terrible two
say.
and one team. Yeah, terrible 2-1. I'm
Yeah,
not saying
uh,
they're good. I'm just saying they are 2-1.
yeah. I mean, the NFL is just so weird, man. We
It's
have
so
so many teams that,
inconsistent. So
yeah.
inconsistent.
I mean, but usually by this week, like week 4, this is where a team starts to pan out. You start to see,
Week three, 1 week behind college.
I know, like when
Oh,
we're
you mean
getting into
going
week
into
4.
week four? Okay.
Yeah, like going into week 4 is usually when you see teams become more natural. Like you
Mhm.
start to see who they really are. So I think and my assumption is that our picks will start to get better as well because we know what to expect out of these
Yeah.
teams. I just think for
So
right
like
now,
that.
there's a lot of inconsistency that we're just not prepared for, and that we don't have the expert knowledge, quote unquote, to really benefit us in the short term at the moment.
Yeah. The only thing else I got to say about this game is I used to have a coach that used to say the saying, and I feel like it associates very well with the Browns. They're stuck in between a shit and a fart. You know what I mean? They don't know they don't know if they need to poop or it's just a fart. They're stuck in between. They don't the run game will look really good and then they'll start throwing it. It makes like why? Like what? Or they'll come out on another drive and just throw the ball 3 times. Your quarterback's showing he's not playing well. Why don't you just stick to what works? Like they don't really have like a strategic game plan. They kind of just like play football, you know?
Yeah, well, if we're going with that metaphor, I'm gonna say Justin Fields is a steady diet of Epicac because you might as well just be puking watching this motherfucker play. I mean, golly.
He's taking too long to decide, so it's
He's-
just coming out.
That's just revolting at this point. Get him out of there. Jesus, save
Uh,
yourselves.
Next game, I'm the only one to pick it in last week. The Tennessee Titans defeating the Las Vegas Raiders 24-22. Zach, you want to start us off with this one?
Yeah, former offensive coordinator turned head coach for the Las Vegas Raiders. Josh McDaniels just absolutely not doing his job there over in Oakland. It seems to be a common theme. I kind of view it the same way how
Las
like all of
Vegas.
Nick, yeah, Las Vegas, sorry. They should go back to Oakland to be honest. But
Way
anyway,
better.
kind of like with Nick Saban's prior coordinators, they leave and then they either usually become like middle of the pack guys. Bill Belichick, same way. His coordinators leave and they just ruin organizations. Like absolutely run them shits into the fucking dirt. It's sad to watch. I wonder if Devonte Adams cries himself to sleep at night. He does get a ton of targets, which personally I don't like as much because I think we're being deprived of some masterclass Hunter Renfrow route running
He was
skills.
out that game.
Yeah, he was out this game, but I'm just saying like overall like team share production like based off who's getting percent of looks. I mean, I'm pretty sure Devonte Adams is getting over 50%
Oh,
of
I
targets.
completely. I picked up Hunter Renfrow because I was like, all right, dude. On paper, they have the best trio in the NFL for receivers. Hunter
Yeah.
Renfrow, Devontae Adams, and Darren Waller. That's a amazing group to throw to. But I picked up Renfrow late in my draft, and I was like, this is a
Mhm.
sleeper pick because they're just gonna double cover Devontae Adams every time, and Carr likes to dish it around. So like, and Renfrow gets open. Like he doesn't have like home run power like Devontae Adams, but he gets open, and they just don't throw him the fucking ball. But when they give him
Yeah.
the ball, he does well.
Yeah, I agree. Maybe as the league goes on, people will start to double cover Devontae a little more. I'm just not seeing as much double coverage as I'd like to.
Like they don't
Um,
respect, they don't fear him. Like it's like they know he can't do anything.
it's also because the Raiders defense is just abysmal, bro. Like it just doesn't matter when you can just
Yeah.
run up the scoreboard on the Raiders. One of the other things I'll say for the Titans side of things, I'm not going to say they're any better. But one thing they did do a lot better, which also helped my fantasy, they realized that Derrick Henry not only is a big body with legs, he also has something called hands.
Mm-hmm.
And he can catch a football. He picked up 5 catches for 58 yards. They showed they can use him in the passing game as well, which I like. Give the man some screens. One of the other teams that I think is failing at this abysmally at, and I wish they'd use more, is Dalvin Cook for the Vikings. I mean,
Yeah,
they just,
same concept, same
yeah,
concept.
they just stopped using him, and I'm
Yeah,
like, dude, what are you doing? Like the
you have a
dude is,
top 5 running back in the NFL and you don't use them.
yeah. We'll get back to more on Dalvin Cook when we go over the Vikings game, but yeah, this was a battle of who wouldn't be 0-3.
Yeah,
The Raiders lost that one, so they are now the only 0-3 team in the NFL, and rightfully deserving. Las Vegas, you never deserved a football team to begin with. Go back to sports gambling. And Tennessee, I don't even know what to say
dude.
about
So
you.
what's crazy is
I hate you.
I went on this rant that Tennessee was going to win because the Grudens are at that game. So it's gonna be like bad karma for the Raiders. First of all, I was right. Second of all, right before the game, they announced Taylor Lewan's out for the season. Right before the
Mhm.
game. So you're like, oh, dude, this O line's already been sucking ass. It's gonna be awful, and they somehow still beat the Raiders. They're utilizing Derrick Henry well. Tannehill, look, I'm not gonna say he played great. He didn't play as shitty as he's been playing,
Mm.
which helped them a
Yeah.
lot. Their defense stepped up big time and helped them. And my dumbass, so I have Mike Evans and Hunter Renfrow on my fantasy team. Mike Evans suspended, Hunter
Mhm.
Renfrow's injured, so they were both not playing. So I started Nelson Aguilar
Mm.
and Jarvis Landry. And I was like,
Mm.
Robert Woods, Tannehill doesn't give him the ball. And then Robert
Mm.
Woods, eight,
Mm.
bro, 4 catches for 85 yards. If I would have played Robert Woods, I could have not played both Nelson Aguilar and Jarvis Landry. I could have benched both of them and played Robert Woods, just Robert Woods, and I would have won that week. That's how like much better he played than them.
You
Um,
gotta love fantasy football.
yeah, it was insane. Another thing I want to note two things. One, it shows you like regardless of your opinion on Gruden and what he did or not, it shows you how good of an actual coach he is when it comes to football. Because they were
Yes.
killing it when he was there. They were not 0-3 at all. Okay. And it shows like that the whatever is going on in Vegas, it's hard to coach there, and he was able to put it together. You know?
Yeah.
The other thing I want to say is I was really, really big on Traylon Burks coming into the draft. I thought he was so well utilized at Arkansas, and that he hasn't done shit this season. He hasn't done anything. It's like he's a ghost.
Yeah. It's just it's rough for them. I don't know. Not a good look overall.
No,
And
not at all.
both these teams just look like they're gonna struggle in their respective divisions. I completely regret saying the Chiefs are gonna make the playoffs. But then again, Chiefs lost. We'll get to the Chiefs later,
No,
but
that's a great transition, Zach, because our next game is the Colts beating the Chiefs 20-17.
lovely.
Great
Yeah.
transition.
I'll start off with this one because boy, do I have some things to say. First of all, let's talk about the fact that Patrick Mahomes and Eric Bieniemy getting into it on the sidelines, yelling at each other about play calling
Who's
issues.
yeah? Before we dissect the game, whose side are you on in that? Did you see like did you watch it live
Ooh,
when it happened? Because I watched it live.
yeah, yes.
So the scenario was it was the end of the second it was the end of the first half.
Mhm,
The first half was
mhm.
winding down, and it was like I don't know. I don't remember if it was like one play or the drive, but they were playing super conservative, and they I think it was like well, I want to make sure I'm right about the score. It was 14-10. So Patty's like, let's move, let's move, and Eric, how do you say his last name? Bieniemy?
Eric Bieniemy.
Bieniemy.
Mhm.
He's like, no, we're gonna conserve it, and then they just let the clock run out and go in halftime, and Patty's like, bro, what the hell? And from my standpoint, bro, I agree with Patty. He, besides Tom Brady, is probably the best 2-minute quarterback in the NFL right now when it comes to just getting the ball down the field. So like they easily could have at least gotten a field goal, you know?
I agree. But from another perspective, I'll play a little devil's advocate here. What I see is you're not on the same page coordinating wise with your quarterback. They're not executing the plays that you want them to perform. Rather than at halftime, the way you look at it is, all right, you had a sloppy half, whatever. You are a lot better than this team
Way
still.
better. Yeah, way better.
You're just not executing. Rather than make a risk and force a ball on an interception and have the Colts get more points before half and get more of a morale boost, just run out the clock, do whatever, regroup at halftime, and you'll be fine. It's still only a 4 point game. That's for the Chiefs, that's nothing. That is
Well,
nothing.
they're winning. They
I
were winning. They were up
yeah,
14. Yeah.
yeah. So you're even up. You're fine. Take your lead in a half. I know you want to be aggressive. You want to have that step on your throat mentality, and I will always respect Patty for that. But at the same time, if your coordinator is noticing that you guys aren't executing well, it's one of those things where like we'll compare it to the MMA. Take a step back, regroup yourself, get back in the fight. That's all you
The
need.
way I would compare it is the exact opposite. And I'm going to compare it to baseball. I feel like when if Patty was a rookie or an unproven quarterback so far, like a I'm not trying to use this in a shitty way, but like maybe even like a Justin Herbert, like someone that hasn't really like he hasn't gone to the playoffs yet, like someone that hasn't really done anything crazy, then I understand listen to your coordinator. But when you have an MVP, once a generational talent, Super Bowl winning quarterback in Patrick Mahomes, and he's telling you, I'm on the field playing, I'm telling you, I'm feeling this, I'm seeing this, let's do it. I think you listen. And the comparison I want to make is the same thing to when like you see pitchers that are about to throw a perfect game or they're about to throw the game and win it and they hit their pitch count and they're like, no, I'm good. I can feel my shoulder, like I got some more throws, and the manager pulls them out. It's like these guys under like they're playing, they've been doing this for a long, long time. Yes, you are the coach, you have the authority, you're the manager, but like there's also a relationship of trust between a coach and a player. Like he should be like, you know what? You're fucking Patrick Mahomes. If that's what you think, let's rock with it. And then halftime comes, you ream him out, and then the second half you don't do it. But I think when
Yeah.
it comes to a guy like Patty, you got to kind of let him. He's Patty's not stupid. If he thinks, look, I don't think we got it right now. Let's keep it slow. He's gonna know. But for him to be like, I think we can get it. I think you go for it. They win the game if they tie the game at least with a field goal.
I mean, yeah, but at the same time, the dude had only 260 yards for the entire game. It's just an out of context game for Patty. And I think Your coordinator is going to have a better outside perspective of you, understanding of how you're playing that game than you are. I know in your head you can't have a faltering mentality. You can never have I'm not playing good. I need to whatever. Like you need to be like go go go. I understand why he's upset, but at the same time, like dude, look, you're not playing well this game. We're going to tone it back. We're going to regroup at halftime. Then we're going to be better in the second half. And obviously, they just didn't get better in the
Well,
second
like
half.
he listen, we were sorry to interrupt you. He played
Yeah,
fine. He didn't play to Patty standards.
because I mean, you look at 20 for 35, 262 yards, a tutty and a pick. For Justin Fields, that's oh
That's
my god,
amazing. Yeah.
oh my god. But for
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes, you're like you're dog shit. What is
Yeah.
wrong with you? Like get out of here. But yeah, just really bad. Another thing that I'll point out about this game, Juju finally had his number one receiver game, getting the most receptions he's had all year, 5 receptions, 89 yards. And they Kansas City after the game cut Matt Amendola, their kicker that was in place for Harrison Butker. Shows you that in this league, you miss field goals, you're done.
Yeah.
There is very little that they will keep you around for. As for the Colts side of things, Jonathan Taylor finally got over 20 carries, didn't break 100 yards, only averaged about 3 yards per carry, but they finally used him a lot more and
Yes.
it kept him in a very close game. That is the point. If your quarterback is not doing a lot, and you have a stud running back, guess what? You run the ball a shit ton, you won't get blown out.
Yeah, and even and like I want to piggyback off what you're saying right now because it's exactly what I was going to say. Matt Ryan looked the best he's looked so far, and I don't think it's because he played spectacular. I think it's because the threat of Jonathan Taylor opened up more opportunities for him. And like you said, Zach, I'm a fantasy owner of Jonathan Taylor. This game pissed me the fuck off stats wise, but as a coach, dude, when you have a guy like Jonathan Taylor, okay, you have a running back that elite, okay, regardless of if he plays well or not, using him as a threat to the defense, they are going to bite. They are not going to just let him run. So that opens up passing. You see, Michael Pittman had a great game, eight catches, 72 yards. They finally got Alec Pierce from Cincinnati, super electric kid, finally getting him some touches. They got a lot of guys catching the ball. Do I think, like I said, also Taylor didn't play horrible. He also had 3 catches for 20 yards. But do I think Matt Ryan just was like, today's my day? No, I think the utilization of Jonathan Taylor opened up more possibilities and opportunities for their offense. And I think compared to the game versus the Jags, he got 7 touches, 9 touches, something insane. And then Matt Ryan didn't do anything. Like you always say it, Zach, and I'm a huge believer, and I think it translates in every sport, but especially with football and especially with MMA. You set up your passes with your runs, you set up your runs with your passes, you set up your takedowns with your strikes, you set up your strikes with your takedowns. It's the same thing. And when you don't do it, it doesn't happen. But this is a great example. He didn't have the greatest game ever, but from a football perspective, fuck the stats. He did exactly what you needed him to do. He did exactly the role you wanted him to do.
Yeah, I completely agree. 100%.
But also, like, just to recap it real quick, I think the Colts still suck. I don't think they're gonna do anything crazy this year. I think it's gonna be a weird year for them. I think the Chiefs are fine. It's the NFL. Like every team's amazing. You're not gonna be spectacular. And one thing before you go, Zach, special shout out to Caleb and Stu, my boys back home in Tampa. They told me that morning before the game started, like hammer Colts covering. Like our guy said it. Like there's just something in the water. And I told both of them to go fuck off. And so I want to apologize because I definitely lost my bet. That it busted my whole parlay. So
yeah. One of the things I'll say just to cap off, you saying like the NFL is just weird. The best division in football, arguably the AFC West with the Chiefs, Broncos, Chargers, Raiders, lost to the worst division in football, Colts, Jags, Titans, and Texans. Now, outside of the Texans losing, Colts beat the Chiefs, Jags beat the Chargers, and what was the third team I
Titans beat
said?
the Raiders.
Titans beat the Raiders. So literally, queen sweep of the division. Get on out of here. Shows you how weird it is. But yeah, moving forward from that game, our next game is
we got the Dolphins beating the Bills 21-19. So my thing going into this game was I thought it was gonna be high. So I have Isaiah McKenzie in one league, and then I have Tyreek Hill in another league. So I'm like, let's guns blazing. The Buffalo Bills DBs are all out. They played with I saw a stat. Sorry, I keep burping. I saw a stat that it was like the combined 4 starters for that game only had a combine of 3 starts in their entire NFL career for the secondary of the Bills. That's very bad when you're playing a team that has Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill. So,
Yes.
but it didn't go. The first half was kind of electric, and then it was like really slow and boring in the second half. Um, all I got to take away is Tua is actually good at football. I'm done ragdolling him. I don't think he's a god or anything spectacular, but he's good. He's good. He's very good.
Yeah.
Um, they don't utilize their run game enough either, which is another thing I think is going to hurt them a little later down in the road. Their defense pulled the fuck up, and I want to give a special shout out to what's his name? To Melvin Ingram. Dude, he
Mhm.
balled out this game. He
He
had a
did ball out.
great game this game. He was a complete like dominant. Like he affected the outcome of the game. I had you saw Jalen Waddle ate a lot, but I had Tyreek Hill and he got 2 catches for 33 yards, bro. Like Isaiah McKenzie's the only reason I didn't lose in that fantasy league. But
Yeah.
Josh Allen still performed phenomenally. 42 for 63, 400 yards, and 2 tutties with no picks. He got sacked a bunch. That's another part of the Melvin Ingram that I was talking about. They
Mhm.
also couldn't really find a running game, and their leading receiver was their running back, Devin Singletary.
Yeah. Shout
So
out the FAU boy.
yeah, shout out FAU. I think, and I said it on the TikTok I made. I think the Bills are fine. I don't think there's anything bad about them. I think they're going to be all right. It's the NFL, and sometimes when you're in a hype train like that, you get too big for your britches. And I think this is the first war they got in, and they just weren't
Mhm.
able to pull it out. And I think the Dolphins. I'm not going to hype. I'm not jumping on the Dolphins train yet, but they're a lot better than I thought they were going to be. And I'm going to give credit to Tua for actually quieting the haters.
Yeah. So let me start by saying this. We talked about it before going into the game. This is why I picked the Dolphins to win. Um, the the Bills had Ed Oliver, defensive tackle, out. You had a bunch of receivers questionable. Your entire secondary is out. By the way, Micah Hyde on the IR now, out for the season. One of your best safeties. Jordan Poyer, one of their best safeties, out. But we kind of see whenever Tyreek gets shut down, it's primarily because they run that single man safety over the top,
Mm-hmm.
so it doesn't allow for the
It's
big
like
play.
they hug his side.
Yeah, they hug his side, and then they'll let them get beat by anyone else. That's why Isaiah McKenzie kind of had a big game. Stephon Diggs, 7 receptions, 74 yards. The only thing I don't really understand is the excuses made by the Bills side of things. Look, you in any sport, you would hope to be healthy, but it is not a guarantee. And that is not an excuse for why you don't win games. That is why you have depth charts. That is why you sign backup players. It is
The
a
whole
part of
practice
the game.
squad. You have an entire
Yeah,
practice roster of
it
guys.
is injuries are a part of the game. If it wasn't, it wouldn't matter. There's a reason why you can turn it on and off in the mat or
Mm-hmm.
in Madden. There's a reason why you can turn it off in any game. It's just how it is. This was very unfortunate for the Bills. But the fact that they're coming out and saying that, oh, well, Miami Stadium is a sauna, field conditions are like 100 degrees. Dude, no one bitches going up to Buffalo playing in negative 32-degree weather when it's
Yeah.
30-mile-an-hour winds. Like, get out of here, bro. Like,
Dude, and
no one cares.
not even them not bitching. Buffalo takes a lot of pride in that. They're like, you have to come and play here where it's freezing and it sucks, blah blah blah. Well, yeah, you have to go play in hot Miami too, bro.
Yeah,
It's called fucking. It's the environment. Like, what? You can't be mad at them for that. Like, what? That's poor
yeah, bro.
planning on your end. You knew you were going to Miami when it's hot as shit. No one
Yeah,
surprised you. It wasn't like, oh, it's gonna be hot in Miami. Like, no, it's fucking Miami. Like, what? That makes no
yeah,
sense.
yeah. Just complete joke. This is crazy to me. Dolphins total yards 212, Bills total yards 495. So that shows you that defense won this game for Miami. My favorite thing about it was the offensive coordinator for the
The
Bills
Bills,
and the
yeah.
just absolutely having the biggest meltdown I've ever seen. But personally, I love it. That shows passion.
Oh,
It's
I love it
entertaining for
too.
the
I
fans.
don't know why people are making fun of him for it, bro. Dude, they were wanting an undefeated season. So like you
Yeah.
put your heart and that dude's putting his heart and soul into that shit, you know? Like
Yes.
it's frustrating sometimes.
Yeah. And now I get it. It doesn't set a great example, but at the same time, I'm not gonna ridicule the man for it. Like, yeah, here emotions a little bit in check. It's okay to just like be a little mad. He kind of went a little overboard. I just remember like some of the photos of like the guy sitting like next to him, like peeking out of the corner of his eye, just like he's like, bro,
The
what are
part
you doing?
take dropped their they dropped their quarterbacks of the week list. It's so golden. And
Uh,
it's like all the different tiers, and one of the tiers is hates tablets, and it's a picture of Tom Brady and a picture of the Bills coordinator.
Very accurate.
Yeah. Oh,
Golly.
and shout out
But
the butt punt. Shout out the butt punt done by the
yes.
Dolphins.
By the way, the entire AFC East has been a part of the butt punt and now the butt fumble. So
Nice.
AFC East loves its butts oriented things. By the way, how bad do you think that hurt? Like to get
Oh,
a
bro, but if
full-fledged.
you watch it, it's not the punter's fault. It's the blocker. He backed right into it. The punter didn't
Oh
take a
yeah,
step. The punter didn't move at all.
yeah, just right in the ass, just like,
Yeah. Dude, you know that had to hurt. So, because that shit's coming hot. Because you're
oh
right
yeah,
at the beginning of the punt. That's where it's like powerful.
yeah. I'll never forget. Quick little story. High school football. We were in practice, and uh, bro, I think his name was Suhaib. Um, he was playing left tackle during field goal coverage, and Steve Walters was our kicker, and I had blocked 2 field goals in a row, and it was only because like they just weren't blocking me off the edge, and I was just getting there. So I was like, oh, I'm just gonna keep blocking kicks. Steven purposely waited just a second longer for me to go block the kick because I wasn't like going to where his leg, I was going in front of it, blocking it.
Yeah.
Purposely waits a second longer and kicks a ball into my rib cage so hard I had to sit out for a week, dude. It felt like he fractured every rib in my
Did it
body.
knock the wind out of you? Were you like,
Dude, it felt like I took like the biggest left hook in like history. And you just had like he hit me with the laces too. So the laces were like bruised
oh.
and printed on me. And like I was like 140 pounds at the time. So I'm literally just rib cage. So I'm literally sitting there just like and Coach Lane is like, get back on the line. He's like, we're going back into coverage. I'm like, no, we're not. I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm
I
going
need to
to
go to
sit
the
down.
hospital.
Yeah, I'm like, my ribs are shattered. I'm like, thank you. But yeah,
But
screw special teams coverage. Ugh.
next game, kind of a game I don't really care too much about, to be personally honest, but it's the Vikings beating the Lions 28-24. I mean, we kind of touched on it a little bit, but they don't give Dalvin the ball. Like they don't utilize. I mean, 17 carries, 96 yards, and a touchdown is great, but you should be abusing that man, like abusing him. Justin
Yeah.
Jefferson was quiet once again, 3 catches for 14 yards. Thielen produced a little, 6 catches, 61 yards, and a touchdown. I'm really liking this running game going on for the Lions between Jamal Williams and DeAndre Swift. Swift is hurt currently, I believe. So it's going to be a lot more touches from Jamal. I think you got to utilize whoever your third string is. It sounds like it's Reynolds.
Craig Reynolds.
Craig
Craig
Reynolds,
Reynolds.
utilize it. Dude, I'm a huge, especially in the NFL, a huge believer of 2 running backs. It keeps the load off and it messes with the defense and it keeps a guy fresh. Goff didn't play horrible. He played solid. It was just a Lions game. They lost by 1 score. That's just how the Lions do.
Um, so I have a couple things I want to say about this. Number one, yeah, DeAndre Swift going down. Jamal Williams probably going to be the primary back there, but he's not a bad second option. He's been doing great. He's been their primary red zone guy as well. So for those DeAndre Swift drafters and lover boys, get fucked. Because Mr. Anime Boy over here is taking off on you. I'm still a big fan of Dan Campbell, what he's got working over there. I think the defense kind of sold this game. I thought the offense is playing well. Look, no one's going to give him his flowers, and I don't think he really needs a lot of praise, but Jared Goff isn't that bad.
No,
He
not at
really isn't.
all. Not at
Yeah.
all.
I think he got a lot of hate just for, he wasn't as fully developed in making the reads he needed to, but under Dan Campbell's system, he is making the passes that need to be made. And he is very effective in their system. Obviously, I think by like week 4 and 5, we'll see if they're actually legit. As for the Vikings side of things, here's what I want to bring up. Dalvin Cook dealing with another shoulder injury. He probably would have gotten a little more touches, but hurt his shoulder again. Don't know if it's dislocated. They say he's day to day. So for anyone that doesn't have Madison picked up, I would do that for your fantasy leagues. Here's one of my biggest conversation topics that I wanted to bring up to
I've
you.
never even heard of this Madison dude.
Justin Jefferson, considered wide receiver 1, fantasy projected 7th overall player in all of fantasy. One of the best receivers coming in the league. Drawing comparisons to players such as Jerry Rice, Randy Moss type production, just obviously the guy for receivers, like supposed to be that top 3 role. If you're the number 1 receiver, there's no excuses where you go back-to-back weeks putting up less than 6 points. And I get it. You went up against Darius Slay. Okay. This week you went up against Jeff Okuda, who's
Yeah, no,
considered
Darius Slay, I understand. Like he's fucking good,
Jeff
but
Okuda is very good this year. He's in comeback player of the
yeah, but
year
I don't
contention.
think he's good enough to shut you down to 3 catches.
Exactly. And here's my thing. People are bitching on Twitter saying like, oh well, he's getting double covered. He's getting safety help over the top. What the fuck is the point of the safety other than to play over the top?
Yeah, it's literally in the job description.
That is like saying like, dude, it's not his fault. He got taken down by a wrestler. Oh, no shit,
Yeah,
no shit. Wow.
yeah, like
Thank you, Captain
what?
Obvious. That's crazy. But here's my thing: if you're the number one receiver, you can triple team Calvin Johnson. You can triple team Jerry Rice. You can triple team Randy Moss. You can triple team Terrell Owens. You can triple team Cooper Kupp. They're probably still going to get 5 fucking receptions
Yeah,
in a football
easily.
game, and they are still going to produce.
Mhm.
Now, I don't mind because I didn't draft Justin Jefferson in any of my
My
leagues,
dad did.
Mister.
And he's not too happy.
Yeah, Gritty Boy can sit down because Adam Thielen, literally Adam Thielen, like tripled Justin Jefferson's fantasy production this week, which won me my league. Shout out Jacob OC. You're my bitch now.
Yeah,
Uh,
woo!
yeah, you can eat that. KJ Osborne was your leading receiver. But yeah, I was just really upset with Justin Jefferson.
You also
They
just to
look,
piggyback off what you were saying, Zach. I also think Kirk Cousins gets a little too much shit for being bad. I don't think he's great in any standards, but I don't think he's horrible. I think
okay,
he's solid.
he's this is what kills me about Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins is a guy where you will never watch a single game of him all year, and you'll look at the end of the year and you'll be like, oh my god, this guy has really good
He
stats.
surprisingly has like 30 touchdowns. Yeah.
And then you watch one game of him on primetime and you're like, this guy is such dog shit. I would never ever want him on my team. Like ever. Like he just like that's just how he is. Like
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. He will like it's either he plays garbage in the first half and then gets a bunch of garbage time Drew Brees type stats in the second half, or like his receiving core and weapons just go absolutely dumb for him. Like he'll give Dalvin Cook like 8 screen passes, and Dalvin Cook will take him for like 100 yards, and they'll be like, "Oh my god, Kirk Cousins threw for like 400 yards in a
Yeah, he
game."
threw it 400.
I'm like, "Oh my god, guess what?" I'm like, his average depth of target was literally 6 yards because he's a little bitch. But yeah, no, I'm fine with having Kirk on any fantasy team. Fine with me. He is never going to lead a playoff team
Yeah, I
ever,
agree. I could see that. I think
ever.
he's good. He gets them to the playoffs though, which is pretty solid.
Oh, he'll get you there. He'll get you there, but he'll never
Yeah.
take you to the promised land.
Now
Yeah,
our
it's like
next game. Oh no, you finished. I'm sorry.
nah. I was gonna have a really shitty joke. I'm glad you
All
brought
right,
up
good thing I got you.
that.
Next, I'm gonna let you take this one away because it is your boys. We got the Ravens, probably the weirdest game so far in the NFL season. I would say, yeah, it was so
Yeah.
weird. The Ravens
Okay.
beat the Patriots 37-26 in New England.
Okay. Here's my thing. Number one, Mac Jones is good. I don't care what anyone says. 22 for 32, 321 yards. Obviously 3 INTs, whatever.
Yeah, that was.
Bad game, bad game. But he is very good. The problem is we have no offensive coordinator still. Don't know why. We don't have an O lines coach. Don't have a wide receiver coach. We have nothing for the offense. It is literally like we roll out to practice and we're just like, hey, Mac Jones, become Tom Brady for a season. I don't know. Figure it out. I hope Josh McDaniels gets fired from the Raiders and just comes back because that's honestly the only way we're ever going to figure shit out. It is just abysmal watching. And even when Mac Jones is able to put it together for the Patriots, put up 26 points with your team of 3 defensive coordinators, you give up 37 points
At
to Lamar
home.
Jackson
At home.
at home.
Yeah.
Now, here's my thing. You end up playing him in garbage time, gets a high ankle sprain. He got hurt, whatever. And now we're projected to start Brian Hoyer. Look, no disrespect to Brian Hoyer. The bald man obviously has been in the league long enough to know that you know what you're getting out of him. You drafted one of the biggest statistical anomalies in college football
Mhm.
with Bailey Zapp. He showed great promise in preseason. All I was stringers. At least see what you got out of him. You, he's a wild card. You don't know.
He broke Joe Burrow's record. Like he is the
Drew
best On paper, he is the best statistical college quarterback of all time. On paper.
Over 60 touchdowns, 70 yards away from surpassing 6,000 yards in a season. Had 2 receivers over 1,700 receiving yards. These are insane stats.
Insane.
And the fact that you're not even gonna like put him in the game just to see, hey, even if he doesn't play good, doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Like
I mean, y'all are
we're not
fucked. Yeah, exactly. Y'all are fucked
we're
regardless.
fucked
You might as
regardless.
well see what
Yeah.
happens.
Yeah, like I really don't care. Just pointless. Ramondre Stevenson was the leading back in this, which was surprising. I always thought Damian Harris was that guy. Receiving not much. As for the Ravens side of things, look,
Lamar's
you
pretty
failed.
good at this football
Yeah,
thing.
okay. You failed to sign Lamar to a contract extension. So in the last 2 games, or for every game this season, he's thrown 2 touchdowns in every game and rushed for more. So he has at least 2 throwing touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
Russell Wilson got signed to $250 million and doesn't even have 2 touchdowns through 10 quarters. You better give Lamar Jackson either a Deshaun Watson type massage every day of the week and a blank check slid under his door, or he is going to absolutely bend you over for the next 10 years.
Dude, I just don't get personally how there's still hate. Like, there's still analysts still hating on Lamar, saying he's not good. Bro, 18 for
They don't deserve
29,
jobs.
218 yards, 4 touchdowns and a pick. He got sacked 4 times, and then he ran for 107 yards with a touchdown. He's playing quarterback. I'm tired of this. He's not a running back. The dude he's good. He's very fucking good at football.
Yeah.
You know,
By
and
the
his
way-
team starts sucking. You know, they get no rushing, nothing's helping him out. He's like, fuck it. I'm gonna just do it. And he does. He single-handedly was like, fuck it, and then just won them that game. Mark Andrews is a great weapon for him. I love that Mark's there. Losing Brown definitely hurts him, but I'm hoping they don't throw him any money. And then Tom leaves, and they're like, "Hey, Lamar, come to Tampa." Dude, I would be the biggest Lamar Jackson bandwagon ever if he came to Tampa. I would love that. I would love that.
You want to know a crazy stat right here? Thanks to Dan Orlovsky. The Ravens have the #1 offense in the NFL. Lamar Jackson accounts for 87% of their total offense.
That's absurd.
87%. If you thought, by the way, if you thought his 2019 MVP season was impressive, he's about to blow that shit so far out of the water.
Yeah.
You may not.
No, this is a
You
fuck
may
you
not have
season
enough
for
money.
Lamar. This is a fuck
You may not have
season.
enough money in the world to pay this man what he's deserved.
Yeah, no.
You don't stand a chance. You blew it. You blew it. The Ravens are screwed. If I was him, I wouldn't even.
Yeah, because when he leaves, because he's gonna leave. He's gonna leave. When he leaves, they are fucked. Like super fucked. I'm gonna go on a limb here and say this. I don't think there's another quarterback in the entire country, in the entire sport of football, that could produce and do for the Ravens the way Lamar Jackson does. I don't think so.
Yeah. It's such a joke. It is literally such a joke.
Yeah, but moving on. Yeah, so basically, Patriots, they're fucked. Ravens, they're good. The win for the Dolphins over the Bills makes the Ravens look even fucking better, in my opinion, because they should have won that game. But our next game, I don't really care to talk about this one too much. I don't know if you want to. The Bengals beat the Jets 27-12. And it's like when we talk about the Bengals, we just say the same shit every single week. Their O-line is garbage. They can't get the ball to Jamar Chase. And then on top of all this, what's frustrating for me, Zach, is like, you know your O-line sucks, and yet you're calling plays that involve like a lot of time from your O-line. They're not doing quick stuff either. And I only watched like, I think 1/4 of this game with my dad. And it was like, they're not doing quick passes. They're not doing like screens. They're not doing quick stuff. They're trying to still run a normal offense. You can't do that with your O-line, bro. And they're just letting Burrow die out there, man. Like he's literally, there's plays he's going, hut, catches it and just curls up because he's already getting hit.
Yeah. I'll say this. For the Jet side of things, the fact that you have Joe Flacco throwing 52 passes in a game just shows that you are out of your goddamn mind. I don't know what your play calling is. I will say this though. Garrett Wilson out of Ohio State, legit.
I thought he's out. I thought he got hurt. I thought he's done.
Well, 6 receptions, 60 yards. He may have gotten hurt during the game. I'm not sure. I didn't really pay too close attention to this one. This was a snooze fest, in all honesty. We'll have to look deeper into that. Let me see. No, I'm not seeing anything. One of the things I will say
Oh,
though
no, he's
about
good.
this,
He I'm sorry, it's poor on my end. He left the first half with an injury and came back in the game. He's good.
new announcement. Due to Hurricane Ian, FAU is shutting down all school activity. So God bless.
Stay safe out there,
So
y'all. Stay safe.
stay safe. Yes. Here's what I'm gonna point out. You talked about them not getting the ball to Jamar Chase. Sauce Gardner locked that boy
Dude. Dude, I
down.
said it in the TikTok. I said it in the TikTok.
Lock him
Bro, he
down.
is so fucking good, bro. He is
Yeah.
so good.
Yeah. Saucy Sauce. Put the sauce on Mr. Jamal.
Dude, he is
He
so
got in his head. Got in his head. Jamar wanted to like fist fight this man by the end of the
yeah.
game. And he was legit just emoting on his ass. Like
Dude,
just
I don't get
absolutely
like
embarrassing.
there was analysts trying to shit on him because he came out of Cincinnati. I don't care if you play fucking Division 10 football. If you play over 1,000 snaps and don't let up a single touchdown in college, that's insane. That's
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah.
He's so
And teams
good,
knew
bro.
better. Teams knew better too than to try his ass. Because it wasn't like one of those like, oh, we're gonna prove him wrong this week. Like we're gonna get a touchdown on his ass. They were like, nah. They're like, there's a reason why he doesn't
There
have
was
that.
literally games where they didn't throw to him. They saw where he was and they would not throw to that side of the field.
He has got to have the most. That okay. Here's another thing. This is why I think cornerback is one of the hardest positions in the NFL. Not necessarily scheme wise, but mental aspect. You can play like that the entire season. But even like Jalen Ramsey, he had one bad week in week 1, and no one gives a shit that he's
Yeah,
trying to do a
everyone
lot
hates him now. Everyone thinks he sucks now from one game.
Yeah, and he's still back to locking down everyone. But just
Yeah.
because he had one bad game against Stephon Diggs, people were like, "Oh, they're trash. He's washed." You know how hard it is to be a cornerback. First of all, you're not even allowed to touch receivers anymore. You can barely put your hands on them. And these guys have the most insane route trees. Like, if you would have taken a player in the 50s and shown him what goddamn Stephon Diggs is able to do now, they would call for witchcraft. They would
Yeah,
literally
dude,
have this
and the thing
man
is too, is Zach, think
in
about this.
prison.
You're defensive back, right? I'm covering you. You know your route. You know what you're running. You know what the guy next to you is running. You know what the offensive line. You know everything. I don't know any. I have to assume based off of studying and your footwork and everything what you're gonna run and try to shut you down while you're doing it and beat you to it. That
Yeah,
is insanely difficult. It's all what's it called? It's all response. You don't you don't determine anything.
And what kills me even more is like, let's say a corner's running cover 4. So he's got quarters coverage, which means he has to prevent anything from behind him. So he can't get beat by that receiver. He's giving up about 10 yards in any reception. So when a receiver he's covering and he's in zone coverage catches like a curl route, they count that as him getting beat.
Yeah, but he
I'm
can't
like,
even do anything with that.
I'm like, bro, he's got to prevent anything going behind him, and you expect him to just stick his ass like 1 yard at the line? Dude, you do realize that receiver beats him on that one play, gets one good release off the line and beats him. That's 80. That could be up to 75 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah, no, because what you do is you start biting on those and shutting those down, and they start hitting curl goes, and then for touchdowns.
Yeah, there's a reason we have double moves. There's a reason why receivers have all these route trees. Guess what? This shit ain't easy, and that's why I will always give my respect to these DBs and especially to Sauce Gardner, because look, what Jamar Chase did in his first year with Joe Burrow was absolutely insane.
Yeah, without him, they don't go to the Super Bowl, 100%.
At all.
Yeah,
at all. But yeah, that's all I got to say about that game.
Yeah, Sauce is that dude. He is
saucy.
Certified saucy. Him and Devin Singletary. No, not Singletary. Stingley. They might be the best 2 corners drafted back to back in the NFL draft.
Yes.
Damn.
That's what pisses me off about the Texans too, because Texans will always draft someone disgusting on defense. You know, J.J. Watt, Derek Stingley, Jordan Petrie. Guaranteed those guys are gone within 5 years
because they don't develop them. They let them get good, and then they're like, oh well, we have no use for you here. We're not going to go to the playoffs. Go somewhere else.
Yeah. Oh, we can't afford you anymore because we didn't build around you during your whatever.
J.J. Watt. Sorry, before we go to the next game, Texans. J.J. Watt was a fucking monster, nightmare, and I hate when people start comparing T.J. Watt to J.J. Like, who was better? T.J. has the potential to be better, but he has not done what JJ did when JJ was at the Texans.
There was one play. I watched JJ get decapitated where the O-line held him so bad they ripped his helmet off and he still got a sack and with a bloodied face just stood up and was like, ooh.
Yeah, and then he was
And
mad
I
at
was
the
like,
Texans. He's like, I can't do anything more. Like, all right, we'll give you some touchdowns. And then they started putting him at tight end because they were like, we need something to do with him.
Yeah, bro, a joke of a franchise. I wanted Nick Sirianni to do something with them too, having being a manager of operations for the Patriots. I thought he was going to do something. Apparently, you can only do good shit for the Patriots, and then once you leave, apparently your soul is like sucked out just so Bill
I
Belichick could
wouldn't
have
be
another
surprised.
season.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Bill the Grim Reaper Belichick owns that shit.
Yeah, him and Rob Kraft go get rub and tugs together where they just like steal the souls of like other coaches. That's just how it is.
But yeah, so
Oh
moving on
God.
to that game. We had the Eagles beat the Washington football team 24-8. Dude, first of all every single digit scored by the Eagles came in the second quarter. Just starting off with that. Second of all, Jalen Hurts is an early front runner for the MVP. 100%. 100%.
No, Lamar Jackson is.
Yeah,
Jackson
okay.
is
Outside of Lamar. I mean, anyways, Jalen got dude. I'm friends with Eagles fans, and they were livid when they drafted Jalen. They were like, "We don't fucking want him. He's a running back." Like, yada yada yada, da 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 da.
Stupid.
Dude,
Stupid.
Jalen got such a bad rep because of Tua. But
Mhm.
if you take that away, he's spectacular. And like we always talk about it, and I'm gonna keep fighting for him. He has stuff that I relate to Jimmy Butler all the time. He has unmeasurable things about him that make him great. You know, he's a great leader. He's super gritty. He's great in crunch time. He doesn't get phased. His composure is amazing. He sits in the pocket. Those are things you don't have on paper, but those are things that win football games. And he does
Yeah.
that. And his team, and the thing I love about Jalen too, that you don't really see a lot in the NFL, you see it more in college, is his team loves being around him. They come around him, they trust in him. He's really been that front figure for them. And the Eagles are a fucking good team this year. They really are. And the only other thing I got to say is Carson Wentz still sucks. I don't know why people are surprised. I mean, he got sacked 9 times for 58 yards. They need to get rid of, they need to gut that whole program and restart. They need to gut him. Just restart.
Yeah. So I'll start off with this. Jalen Hurts out of college. First of all, when he got benched for Tua, didn't complain, didn't bitch,
Didn't
wasn't
talk shit. I'm
upset
sorry,
about it.
didn't talk shit about Tua and said that was still his brother and his boy.
Not only didn't talk shit, was literally the first guy to step up for him and say this was the right move and have his back. And literally anytime he did something good or bad, was the first guy he celebrated with. Always had that brother mentality, always looked for his guys, and squats over 600 pounds at Oklahoma. So shout out the weight room. Another thing I'll say, this goes back to the Jeff Okudah thing. Jeff Okudah faced Devontae Smith in week 1, held him to 0 catches. Devontae Smith this week, 8 catches, 169 yards, and a tutty, and was freaking children.
Yeah.
Was laying the beat down.
Yeah.
Insane. I think now here's my question for you. Are you higher on the Eagles stock at 3-0, or are you higher on the Dolphins stock at 3-0? And then we'll get back into this game.
That's really, really good. I'm trying to see who the Dolphins have played.
Personally, I'm gonna say
I think you want me to go? You want to go?
You go first because I already kind of I had this like
I think the way I'm gonna look at it is I think the wins are more significant and better by the Dolphins, but I think long run I'm buying into the Eagles more than I'm buying into the Dolphins.
Yeah, I completely agree. One of the things I was going to say is I think Mike Daniels has had one of the best resumes for opening up a season, beating Bill Belichick. He beat Sean McDermott and the Bills, and then I forgot who
they beat the Ravens.
Yeah, and then they beat Lamar Jackson and John Harbaugh in week 2. So very solid resume there. As for the Eagles, though, you sign A.J. Brown, you have Devontae Smith, your defense is playing solidly. Jalen Hurts has made amazing strides this year.
Dallas Goedert's pretty good too. Don't forget about him.
Yeah, Goddard's solid. You're finally utilizing Miles Sanders a little bit more. By the way, Miles Sanders last year, funniest quote I've ever heard in my life. They asked him how he felt about his production for this team, and he said, "I wouldn't even draft myself in fantasy." So now this year, buddy, you're a reliable target.
But he's doing great. Yeah, he's doing good
You're
this
doing
year. Yeah.
great this year. So we're glad to see you moved on from your I wouldn't even draft myself. Hopefully you would draft yourself this year. Um, yeah, just hilarious. As for the Commander side of things, you don't know what you're getting out of Carson Wentz. That's the problem because he was literally the ninth ranked fantasy quarterback because he was balling. Because he was just like take like MVP form type shit. And then you come into this week and he's like, I think I'm gonna eat Crayolas before I
Yeah,
go on the
he's just so inconsistent.
like, oh my God. By the way, he scares me every week because Terry McLaurin will have 0 yards going into halftime and then ends the game with 6 catches for 102 yards. Like, can you just like throw him the ball in the first and
If
second
I'm
quarter?
if I'm Carson Wentz, I'm literally only throwing it to him. Like every single play, I'm looking
Every
at
play.
that, throwing it to him. He's
Yeah.
gross. He's gross.
Gross. Proving it. That's what kills me. First of all, Terry McLaurin didn't even make the top 100 players this year in football for the NFL top 100. That's a joke. And I think the only reason he doesn't get the respect he deserves is because he doesn't have a top quarterback throwing him the
Yeah.
ball. You give him any top 15 quarterback in the league, he's suddenly one of the best receivers in the game. And I stand by that. And he will prove it eventually. Um, yeah, Eagles just dominated this game all around. I think they only
I'm big
lost.
on I'm shout out Chase Asman. I'm big on the Eagles wave right now. I really am.
Yeah, huge. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got to
Our
say
our next
about
game
that.
is probably the worst game. I think. Let me just double check. Yeah, no, it is. It was our worst game of the entire uh weekend was Carolina beating the Saints 22-14. Um I was kind of hurt. I'm not gonna lie. I was kind of hurt by this game because I was so big on the Saints this year. I thought they had so many positive things going for them going into this season.
James.
They have great receiving core. They got Alvin Kamara and Melvin Ingram. They got Jameis, who seemed to be doing his thing before he got hurt last year. I got him on fantasy too in my other league. He's been sucking. They suck. And then the other side is I'm a huge Baker Mayfield. Oh, excuse me. I was a huge Baker Mayfield guy, and dude, like they gave him the greatest storybook ever. Fuck you, you get cursed, but you do everything you can do in God's name's power, God's willing power for the Browns. They fuck you. You play them week one. You get Christian McCaffrey. Like you get it. Listen, your O line's dog shit. I'm not gonna act like they're great, but like you get some opportunities, and then you get an 11.3 QBR against the Saints. Baker Mayfield has the lowest going into week 4, the lowest QBR out of every single starting quarterback in the NFL. And it's just like I understand in Cleveland you had 3 offense coordinators in 4 years. They didn't give you weapons. Then when they did give you weapons, you didn't have an O line, and then like you played hurt because you loved the city. Like there was a lot of things going there. There's no fucking excuses for this game. There's absolutely no reason to suck this bad right now. I'm sorry, and I
Yeah.
love the dude. I think he's if you want to call him the podcast, I would worship him, and I think he's probably one of the coolest guys to drink a glass of whiskey and smoke a cigar with. But I don't think he's good at quarterback anymore. I think his time has come, and I do think the injuries might have wearing him down and made him worse and stuff. But I can't keep trying to make reasons to fight for him, dude. He sucks. He's just not. He's not it this year.
Yeah. So I'll also attack Baker for a little bit. You have decent amount of weapons on your team. You have Christian McCaffrey in your backfield, given 25 carries, 108 yards. Did his thing as you'd expect. You also had,
You have DJ
I mean,
Moore, Rodney.
okay,
Anderson.
here's the thing. Here's the thing about DJ Moore, though. You're not using him at all. 2 carries for
One,
13 yards, one
one
catch for 2
catch for
yards.
2 yards. Yeah.
What are you doing? What are you doing? Give this man the ball. Here's another thing about the Panthers that blows my mind. CJ Henderson out of college, nasty, given he was from the Gators. Jeremy Chin out of college, nasty. Shaq Thompson, nasty. Corey Littleton, great linebacker. Here's some other players that I haven't even mentioned yet. Brian Burns from Florida State. Guy was pretty good, don't you
Xavier
think?
Woods.
Xavier Woods, nasty. JC Horn, disgusting. What happened? Where is this even? Now I get it. Your offense isn't doing much. Um, I just don't really know what the hell to have all this talent on your defense and then to have a quarterback room of Sam Darnold, Baker Mayfield,
Matt
Matt
Corral.
Corral,
That's probably the weirdest mix of quarterback room in the NFL.
ever. Um, Robbie Anderson, by the way, adamantly saying that Baker just sucks dick.
Yeah.
And saying like, I want my man Sam back.
Yo,
First of all, if you're
but
calling,
all right, Sam's no better. As much as
yeah,
I don't fuck with
that
Baker, Sam's not. If anything, say fuck it and throw Corral in there, but Sam is not an upgrade from Baker.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like, if you're calling for Sam Darnold for his starting job back, you're fucked.
Yeah.
You're screwed, bro. Just call it
There's
quits.
no hope. There is no hope.
By the way, shout out Robbie Anderson just for the greatest mic'd up clip of all time, not knowing who his mascot was and just looking up and he goes, "Is that a bear?" They're like, "Nah, man, that's Sir Perk." He was like, "Sir Perk?" I bet. As for the other side of things, holy shit, Jameis. Like, I saw glimpses of greatness, and before you got injured, you had like 16 tutties with like
They were
3
6-1.
interceptions.
They were like 5-1, 6-1 before he got hurt.
Yeah, balling. I thought with your LASIK eye surgery, you were going to turn into the second coming of Jesus Christ. Like, I thought you were the man, and then you are literally right. By the way, that Marquez Callaway touchdown, he literally threw that ball in the quadruple coverage. And Marquez Callaway had to literally pull like a in the swimming pool when you're throwing the ball between all the
No,
guys.
you know what he did? You know what he did? He went fucking full on Moses and parted the sea to get that ball. That's
Yeah,
what he had to do.
yeah, and just like, oh my god, bro, like it's honestly like he's playing in his mind. He's playing like NCAA on rookie mode. And he's like, nah, I can just. He's like,
Yeah.
I can fit that in there.
Michael
Like,
Thomas somewhere down there.
yeah, he's like, I can fit this ball between like 8 separate defenders by like missing them all by like a quarter of an inch. Like, no, you can't, bro. No, you can't. And all of the weird off-season workout trainings you do aren't gonna save you. I promise. Another thing, Chris Olave finally had his breakout game for the Saints.
He's a
9
dog.
receptions,
He's a dog.
147 yards.
I played Jarvis Landry and Nelson Aguilar instead of playing Chris Olave and Robert Woods on my team. I got fucked.
You'd have had
I lost.
23.7
I only lost by like 12 points, and they both got
Yeah.
20 each.
Yikes. Yeah, the Saints just looking rough that's all I gotta say about
We
that
ain't gonna
game.
be hitting the Sean Payton this year.
Hell no. Hell no.
But yeah, our next game.
Shout out Cole Joffrey.
Shout out Cole Joffrey and Matt Garcia. Fuck you guys. The Bucks own you. And
Check the suicide hotline. Please get the help you need. Don't resort to alcoholism either, although that's probably more beneficial. Even a pack of cigs a day would probably do you justice at this point.
So our next game is probably the most confusing game that happened. The Jags beat the Chargers 38-10. But I think it's time to stop calling the Jags lucky and to start saying Trevor Lawrence is pretty damn good at this football thing. Okay. As well as Doug Peterson is a pretty damn good coach. And on top of that, James Robinson has been really, really good this year.
Yeah. Let me put it this way. I'll start us off real quick. Whoever had Travis Etienne as the number 1 back for that team, get the fuck out of here. Whoever drafted
It makes
Etienne,
sense. Look. It does make sense though. They played together at Clemson. They drafted him for that reason. He was very utilized at Clemson. So going into the season, it made sense.
I get it, but he ain't no James Robinson.
No, he's
He
not.
ain't no Alabama.
James Robinson is playing good football right now.
By the way, whoever was in charge of James Robinson ankle surgery and rehab, give that man the keys to the city, because usually you never come back from an ankle, especially an Achilles injury, and he is out there balling. We said in our predictions that I was going to take the Jags only because I didn't think Herbert would play, and I thought they would outplay the Bengals. Fuck it. You can put Josh Allen in there for the Chargers. Them Jags whooping that ass.
Dude, they're good, bro. And Herbert didn't even play like horrible. He played like average.
Look, I may be talking crazy. But the Jags lead in their division. Not saying they're going to win it. Fuck that. I am saying they're going to win it. Jags go into the Super Bowl.
Duval!
Duval. Yeah, somewhere James Omar is literally blacked out in some alleyway. God, I miss that kid. James, if you're alive, if you're with us, I know you're probably going crazy that the Jaguars don't suck. I just hope this shows to all to all football fans everywhere. Urban Meyer
Yeah.
never better step on a football field again
Yeah,
so long as
ever.
he lives.
As long,
Ever.
I mean, he's an analyst now, but he should never coach a team ever again.
Yeah, no. Six an analyst. Buddy. You go from the worst team in football to now you have everyone convinced that the Jags are a legit playoff team now that you're gone. Trevor Lawrence in his third year, balling. By the way, they were pulling up that stat with him and
It's his
Peyton
second
Manning.
year. It's his second year.
No, it's his third.
Trevor Lawrence second year.
I'm not.
Last year was DJ Ugiali's first year starting for Clemson. It's his second year starting at Clemson.
No way.
I'm gonna click.
No, because they pulled up.
I'm gonna click Trevor Lawrence. Okay. Right. Okay, you ready? He's played in 2021 for the Jags, in 2022 for the Jags. He's in his second year. He's played 20 games in the NFL, 17 last year and 3 this year.
Anyway,
when it comes to college, man, you can't. I know, dude. This is like a library of random, unimportant college football facts.
Well, maybe you should do the college TikTok this week.
Yes. You know what? Maybe I should just go on College Game Day. Fuck it, right? You know?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, better than what Kirk Herbstreit's spewing out of his ass these days.
I guarantee you I'm better than Desmond Howard. I guarantee it. Guarantee it.
Yes. Probably not the whole football thing, but analyst-wise, yes. They did post that meme of Peyton Manning and Trevor Lawrence comparing each other. First 9 career road games on the road, they were both 0-9. In their 10th road game, they both picked up a win. Their opponent was the Chargers in both that game, and that was also in week 3. Is Trevor Lawrence Peyton Manning? I'm going to say no, not as big of a forehead.
I agree. Way too great of hair. Way too great of hair.
Yeah. Also, his face looks like it was straight out of some like Greek mythology, like marble stone. Like,
dude,
what the hell is
Doug Peterson was the best thing that happened to Trevor Lawrence. Because, dude, everyone started shitting on him last year, and it's like, you understand that Urban Meyer was his head coach. You think Urban was getting him prepared? No, he was not.
Dude, this is the greatest Urban Meyer story I've ever heard. Urban Meyer came out in a team, like in his team meeting, and literally said word for word when they were playing the Rams that week. He was like, "Who's this number 99 guy? He looks pretty good."
Oh my god!
You don't know who fucking Aaron Donald is, brother? You're done.
Yeah, it's just like it's like this. That's my biggest pet peeve about sports fans is they base guys off of 1 year, especially a rookie. Like, bro, Trevor Lawrence, in my personal opinion, was the most skilled and pro ready quarterback out of college ever. I really think so. And now he's got someone that's helping him develop and showing him the proper ropes. That's the other thing too, is like he's a rookie and you give him a rookie coach who's never coached in the NFL. So they're both figuring this out. Now you got Doug Peterson. He's won a Super Bowl. He knows a thing or two about a thing or two. It's helping him out, and you can see it firsthand.
Yeah. By the way, for the Chargers side of things, the only thing I'll say is Austin Eckler, 4 carries for 5 yards. Sony Michel, 5 carries, 22 yards. Herbert, 1 for 7. Joshua Kelly and DeAndre Carter combined for 2 carries, -8 yards.
Gotta get a run game, man. Gotta get a run.
You run the ball to throw the ball. You throw the ball to run the ball. We will literally be a broken record, and that'll be literally embroidered on my tombstone. Defensively, I mean, do they even have any turnover? No turnovers. Ain't shit. Didn't get nothing. Nada. This game was at SoFi too.
Yeah.
Imagine getting whacked at home by the Jags.
Anyways, next we got 5 games left. I did not watch this game, so I don't even really want to say anything on it. The Rams beat the Cardinals 20-12. All I gotta say is Matthew Stafford nor Kyler Murray scored a touchdown. So it's just like I think it's a little too early for Stafford, but for Kyler, I think it's very much so time to start questioning his legitimacy as an NFL quarterback. I really do. I'm
Um,
not big on him at all. He's not even a big dude. But I think that Stafford got blessed by the amazing team around him last year. I still think that Stafford's good, but this like talks of him being like compared to Aaron Rodgers and stuff, no. And then I don't think I think Kyler Murray is honestly the most overrated player in the NFL. I am very against Kyler Murray. I don't like him at all. But like I said, I didn't watch this
um,
game, so I don't want to go in too hard and say too much, but that's all I got to say from what I see on the statistics.
yeah. One of the things I'll say for fantasy owners, um, due to James Conner going out due to injury, I would pick up Benjamin. Um, let me see, other than Rush. Yeah,
By the way,
Benjamin.
Benjamin was filthy at Arizona State. I don't know how he's doing in the NFL, but he was filthy at Arizona State.
Well, we're gonna find out. This is gonna be his first week starting with James Conner out due to injury. Also, Darrell Williams has some solid backup running back potential, but definitely Benjamin will get the primary back for this next game. Um, you know, I will say this for the Rams, Cam Akers finally got going, was the leading carries with 12 for 61. Cooper Kupp only 4 receptions for 44 yards, got out out received by two other white guys, Ben Skowronek and Tyler Higbee. Allen Robinson continues to be just a lost cause for that team.
Yeah, but I don't think it's
Um,
his fault. They don't throw him the ball.
yeah, Matt Stafford's racist. It's okay.
And I have him on my
Um,
fantasy team, bro.
yeah, one thing I'll say about Stafford, I cut him in fantasy and picked up Jared Goff because that's how bad. That's when you know it.
Damn.
Jared
Damn.
Goff is a better fantasy quarterback than Matthew Stafford. Think about that.
Damn.
Think about that.
Damn.
And if you think I'm lying, look it up. Look it up. Go for it. I dare you. I dare you to come tell me I'm wrong because Jared Goff is better in fantasy. Not saying he's a better quarterback. Not saying that. Just saying it's better fantasy. As for Kyler Murray and Cliff Kingsbury, I think they have. Oh my God, it's like shout out Rick and Morty. It's like a Beth and Jerry relationship. That is Cliff Kingsbury and Kyler Murray because you have Cliff Kingsbury who wants to design all these like eccentric plays and like empty sets, and I'm gonna throw in like 20 different route combinations to confuse defenses, and then you have Kyler Murray who's like, I'm gonna throw the ball and I'm gonna run the ball very fast. And that's all that goes on is in his head because he doesn't do any pre-snap reads. We can see that because I've never once seen this man point out and say,
Yeah.
"Hey, there's the mic." I've never seen him point out and say, "Oh, there's the mic in the will," or "This guy's coming off the edge," or "Oh, they're blitzing this play. Let me shift the protection of my running back to the other side or slide my protection." Doesn't do any of that at all. At all. What does he do though? Oh, I guarantee you this man knows when the next Call of Duty Double XP weekend's dropping.
Do you
Because this man
think
loves his COD.
I'm being completely serious here too, like not even just trying to bash Kyler, like I'm being completely genuine right now. Do you think he knows defensive like do you think he can read a defense?
I think if he gave a shit, yes, but I think he's so talented that he doesn't care.
Yeah, that's
Like
what
I
I'm
don't
saying. No, that's what I meant. Like, you think that he just got away with it in high school and college of just being so good that it didn't matter if he knew what was going on, and now where it doesn't matter how good you are, you have to know, like, because he doesn't make any adjustments. He doesn't like one example I like to give is Philip Rivers. He got so much. I don't know. There's so many random Philip Rivers haters out there. I don't know why, but dude, if you watch him pre-snap, that dude knows everything that's going on in the field. He knows the formation. He knows everything. There's a lot of quarterbacks like this, but he's making adjustments. Kyler Murray rocks with whatever's called. Whatever you could tell the defense to play. Kyler's like rocking with it. It's like he
yeah.
doesn't make any adjustments. He doesn't read a defense, and I feel like, especially in the NFL, you need to know. Like you need to be a bookworm. Like you need to be studying, and I don't think he does.
Yeah. And you can obviously tell because when's the last time you've seen him make a hot route call? I think he literally only knows whether it's cover two, cover four, cover
Yeah, like
three.
the very basic, like the
He
basic.
only knows
Yeah,
he only knows what they're dropping back at the highest level to let him know whether he's throwing a deep ball or not.
yeah.
Outside of that, doesn't know who's blitzing, doesn't know where his pass protection is, doesn't really care. And another thing that you can tell between a good quarterback and a good quarterback, technically a bad quarterback as well, will look to escape the pocket. Great quarterbacks climb the pocket when when the
Yes.
pocket collapses. Because usually when you climb the pocket when it collapses, gaps open up, you can take off running straight. When you roll outside, that gives chance for the middle linebacker, edge, contain. They're able to just roll outside with you and prevent you from gaining yards. Tom Brady, the slowest motherfucker on earth, got like a 15-yard run just because he knew how to climb the pocket
You
properly.
know who's been doing a really
Kyler
good
doesn't
job
do
with
that.
that too this year is Jalen Hurts. He's doing a good
Yes,
job of not
amazing.
fleeing the pocket right away.
Yeah, and that's a good quarterback studying the game, making adjustments, getting better year after year. You cannot tell me Kyler has improved at all from his like rookie sophomore season. Has he made any great strides?
I've never been big on
He's
him.
made he the only reason I would even say he got any better is just because he built up chemistry and knows like the speed of his players to gauge where to put the ball.
But
That's
and
it.
and the reason he looked so good in college because he played in the fucking Big 12. There's no defense.
Yeah. But let's get to these last four games.
Yeah. Sorry. We are a Kyler Murray hate account.
Yes.
Next is
Yes.
another game I didn't watch. So I'll let you go on if you want, or we can just go through it. The Falcons beating the Seahawks 27-23. Only thing I want to know is Mariota didn't play like dick. I mean, he played bad, but he didn't play like dick. And they won the game. And guess who had the most amount of receptions? Kyle Pitts. So it shows when you get him the ball, good things happen. I don't really
Yep.
got anything else to say, but shout out my dad again. He made a great quote. He goes, "How much better, like realistically right now, how much worse are the Seahawks without Russell Wilson and with Geno Smith?" It's kind of like the exact same fucking team,
Yep.
But that's
Just
all I got to
saying.
say. Like I said, I didn't watch this game. I don't want to go on and start. Cordell Patterson balled out though. Damn. 17 carries
Yep.
for 41 yards and a touchdown. But
I have
yeah, you go on. I didn't watch this game.
okay. So first of all, Cordell Patterson's career path journey has been insane. Always been a wide receiver. Only was used as a running back when he got to New England. And
They
now he's a
ran out of
primary
running
running
backs,
back.
right? Wasn't that how it started?
Yeah. Yep. And now he's a primary running back, 17 carries, 141 yards. I have him in fantasy with Derrick Henry and just beautiful. Chef's kiss.
He's doing good this year.
Yeah, they're dirty. I've always loved him. He's doing great. Finally getting Kyle Pitts the ball per usual. You want to talk? Let me read you the stat line and you tell me what quarterback in the league did this. 32 for 44, 325 yards, two tutties and a pick. Was it Tom Brady? No. Was it Josh Allen? No. Oh, I'm sorry. This is Geno Smith we're talking about here. I'm sure when we get into this Broncos game, I'm pretty sure it'll look a lot better than whatever Russell Wilson's stat line was. Because that man played atrociously. The
With
fact
a
that they even got
way
a
better
win.
team. With a way better team.
Yeah. The only other thing I'll say, DK's production is being overshadowed by Tyler Lockett, which isn't good. Yeah. I have DK and Debo Samuel on that same team. So I want to see more out of them. But, beggars can't be choosers and draft a better team. It's just how it is.
Yeah,
But
that game.
yeah, neither of these teams are going to do shit.
Our next game was one I did watch. Green Bay at Tampa Bay, 14-12. So this is my take on this game, Zach. I understand your top three receivers are out. Godwin, Evans, and Julio are out. They're not in the game. I understand that. But overall, your team is so much better than Green Bay. You should have won this game. Okay? There's no excuses. And the other thing is, it's not even just this game, it's all season. The Bucs defense is balling and the offense cannot reciprocate at all. They can't. And I don't know if we blame Tom. I don't know if you blame Fournette. I don't know who you blame, but the offense sucks right now. It really does. And the defense is great, bro. Listen, the defense has given up 3 points, 10 points, and 12 points. The defense is doing a phenomenal, 3 points, 10 points, and 14 points. They're doing a phenomenal job. Okay. But it doesn't matter when your offense can't even score. And it's just very frustrating to me, especially with the Packers haven't even really shown that they're that good this year. Like, I don't know, dude. That was a game I thought for sure the Bucs were going to be able to pull through, and they seem like they're out of rhythm. Like no one seems to be on the same page. We're dropping passes, we're having fumbles, a delay of game on a 2-point conversion. Aaron Rodgers said he saw something on the jumbotron. Jumbotron guy just lost his job. Like this game should have never been 14-12, regardless.
Yeah, how do you
like
first of all? Okay, so I'll just go through this real quickly. Number one, you have all your backup receivers in. He was hitting guys like he literally hit Cole Beasley, and rather than Cole Beasley just receiving the ball in the hands and picking up the first down, he lunges for it, which causes them to lose momentum. It's Tom Brady, just catch the ball and get the first down. It's
Yeah.
really fucking simple. You have 2 fumbles, which killed scoring drives. You were literally driving. The only drives you're actually able to put something together, and you fumble on both of them. You're shooting yourself in the foot. I'm surprised Tom Brady didn't shatter another 6 tablets on the sideline, having to watch these fucks have to catch footballs.
Dude, he hates tablets.
Yeah, I would too. Based off what the hell I'm seeing on the field, the Packers do have a really solid defense. One of the things that stood out to me though, Packers time of possession. Packers 33 minutes, Bucks 26. They just dominated the time of possession, really controlled it from that. When you aren't that good on offense, but you have Aaron Rodgers, you're able to slow the game down as much as you want. You're able to
Play the
really
pace you want to play at.
and that's how you win games. And they did a very good job. I thought these teams are both even going into it. I just thought, Tom Brady has dealt with a bunch of white leftover receivers before and would be able to get something done. We signed Vaccine Boy and Cole Beasley.
I thought he was going to be great, bro. I was hyped when we got Cole Beasley. I was very excited.
His catch was nasty. I made a couple nice catches. But oh my god, just didn't really do shit. Russell Gage, 12 for 87. You signed him for a reason. He finally does stuff. We look. Aaron Rodgers never throws touchdowns against any teams. Against the Bucks, that man throws picks out the ass.
Yeah.
Yeah. Logan Ryan picking him off. Is there any other interceptions? I think it was just Logan Ryan. Yeah, just Logan Ryan picking him off. Unable to do anything there. And then on the 2-point conversion attempt, like you said, first of all, we get a delay a game. Rookie fucking move. I don't know if that was the center's fault. I don't know what we're doing.
Did you see it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So when I first watched it live, I blamed Tom, and then I rewatched it just the delay of game yesterday, and I blamed the center because Tom is yelling at him, hike the ball, clapping like hike, and the guy doesn't do it.
Yeah. And the play they were actually running was a play that they've always run in 2-point conversions. It's a fake over the head snap, so Brady would have jumped in the air, turned around.
The hit for
Fournette would have taken the direct snap. They got the look they want. Widespread 4-man front with 2 linebackers that are not pressed as much as they need to. Fournette would have easily run them bitches over, gotten in, tied it. Said you take a delay of game, and our Jumbotron operator, who is smoking the most crack, decided to just show the quarterback and the offensive coordinator going over the play that they want to run to tie the game. What are you doing? What are you doing?
That was bad. That was very bad.
Yeah. It's a joke. I honestly don't understand what we're doing in that forefront. It just doesn't look good at all. But yeah, just poor showing from them. I'm not going to overreact too much of it though. You had your 3 starting receivers out, on social media. They didn't really make a big craze about it. The fans didn't really like overreact or anything. You'll have some people say like, oh, they're finished. Well, yada, 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 bullshit. Whatever. Makes no difference to me. They'll be back. Obviously, a playoff team this year, especially with the division they're in. Saints ain't doing nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Panthers ain't doing nothing. The
Falcons. Mike Evans comes back. Everyone's coming. They'll be straight. They'll be straight.
Yeah, I agree.
Our next game. So I want to apologize to the other game I said was the worst game. This is the worst game. Was the 49ers at Denver.
Shout out Jimmy G for stepping on racism.
Yeah,
literally
putting his foot down for racism.
Yeah. Dude, in the worst way possible.
A quarterback that had a 14.2 QBR and a quarterback that had a 32.9 QBR. Oh, and to mention, these are both Super Bowl quarterbacks. Yeah. All I got
defense wins championships.
Deebo Samuel finds a way to make something happen even when there's just nothing to happen. He still had 5 catches for 73 yards and even got 5 rushes. And I'm like a broken record on this. Russell Wilson's not. He's done. Like he's just not good anymore, dude. He's so bad. I don't understand. He's so cringe. Like Casey said on the last pod, dude. My entire Twitter feed during the game was, "Oh, just wait, Russ is about to cook," and it's like Russ cooking, and it's like uncooked hot dogs and beans. Like it's just like, dude, he's bad. He's not good at all. Like he's. No. I don't even have anything to say about this game. It sucked. There wasn't even anything to really talk about. They won 11-10.
Yeah, my favorite meme was like, "Oh, Russ in the kitchen for sure," and it's like someone cooking the NyQuil chicken. Yeah. And it's like, wow, this is really putting me to sleep.
No, actually, I do have one good thing to say. I have one positive. So I got fucked.
Go ahead.
I got fucked in my one league because the 2 receivers I keep talking about, In this league, I was down 9.8 points going into this game. Okay. I didn't have anybody playing in the Monday night game. I'm 2-0. I'm like the third guy in my league. I'm like, fuck, I really need something big here to happen. Tyreek Hill got 4 points. Like, it's not looking good. Jameis didn't look good. I had my only guy left was Melvin Gordon. He was projected 7 points. And I was like, Melvin, I remember going to bed that night. I'm like, Melvin, I'm not going to watch the game. Just please give me 9.9 points and I win. That's all I need. And that motherfucker
buddy.
got me 1250, baby. 1250. I won the league. Shout out Melvin Gordon. Wisconsin boys are built different, baby. Let's go. The game still
Yeah.
sucked, but I won that league. I stayed 3-0. We're still alive. It's an $850 pot. We won it, baby. We won it. Let's go.
Here's what I'll say. Russell Wilson, 20 for 33, 184 yards. Receivers dropping balls. You're still
Also,
not making plays.
sacks for 24 yards. Don't take that.
Yeah, just fucking joke. Let me say this. The 49ers are the only team to lose a game when they had 1 3-and-out. The Broncos had 9 3-and-outs, and they still lost the game.
Broncos Nation,
Jimmy,
you will never ride. You will sit down on the roller coaster and it will never start.
what's crazy is though, they're tied for the lead in their division. This is why I hate the NFL. It is a complete joke. As for Jimmy G, look, that safety, first of all, the play call. You're on your own one and you're in shotgun set running 10 to 12-yard routes down the field.
Yeah, what are you doing? Get one run. Even if you get 1 yard, that's an extra step you can take. Like,
Yeah, no, you're running a shotgun set. He's facing pressure immediately, and you're gonna bitch at him because he stepped out of bounds. Okay, it's not as bad as Dan Orlovsky, who literally was like running along the out of
yeah,
bound boundary. Like
he
a
did
Jimmy
one.
G
It was
just
only
literally
one step, right?
Jimmy G took one step back and went to go throw a pass. Like you're setting that man up for failure.
Oh, that was stupid. I
Um,
agree.
I still think Jimmy G has more promise than Trey Lance at the
I do
moment.
too. I like Jimmy G. I don't think he sucks.
Yeah. Just obviously a very bad game offensively for both of these guys. I would have rather watched paint dry. I would have rather eaten NyQuil chicken for dinner. There's a lot of things I would have rather done than sit through this football game again.
Yeah, it was
You know, we
bad.
talk we talk about enjoying defenses playing quality good football. This was not good
No,
football. This wasn't good
yeah,
defense.
this wasn't good defenses. This was shit offenses.
Yeah, this was guys couldn't hit receivers, guy couldn't catch balls, like garbage.
Yo,
But
talking
yeah,
about guys not catching balls, let's transition into our last game. Monday
CD's
Night
nuts.
Football. Cowboys beating the Giants 23-16. Dude, I am a big CD Lamb hater. I'm sorry. I think he sucks. I understand he had that freak one-handed catch and he did some cool stuff. But
He did
bro,
have 22.7 points.
dude, he literally got Cooper Rush through him the most perfect pass. Like literally, like if you had a meter of how perfectly to place this ball, it was a 100%. It didn't just hit him here; it hit him in stride, so he could have kept running with it, and he drops it. He had so many drops. I mean, dude, the guy's talented, but I'm all about consistency, and he's not consistent. I'm sorry. You need way more consistency.
Yeah.
This game was just like it was just a battle of two teams that aren't that good. You know, like I don't really got anything much more to say about that. I just think Daniel Jones sucks. I never thought he was good even when he got drafted. I didn't think he was good when he was at Duke. Saquon starting to do a little bit more, which is good for them. But like, dude, your number 2 receiver on your team should not be your running back. I'm sorry. This isn't college football. Like you should be moving the ball down the field.
Yeah. So let me start with the Cowboy side of things. I am personally a CD Lamb lover because I was facing Zach Teray, my roommate in fantasy. He needed CD Lamb to go off for 27 points and he would have won the game. If CD Lamb catches that deep ball from Cooper
You
Rush,
lose. Yeah,
I
you lose.
lose.
Yeah.
I lose.
Yeah.
A la CD Lamb. You can see these losses because I'm winning my playoff league, bitches. But yeah, huge shout out to him. I think Tony Pollard is a better running back than Ezekiel Elliott.
Yes, I
I think
agree.
it's Tony.
I think so
I think
too.
it's Tony Pollard season. And another thing, I am no longer on the Ben DiNucci train. I am on the Cooper Rush train
I mean,
because
we'll
let me
always
tell you,
love you though, Ben.
we'll always love you, DiNucci. But yeah, Cooper Rush 3-0, man, and that's his third, fourth quarter comeback
2-0. He's 2-0. He's 2-0.
or 2-0, but third in his career, I believe. From a stat I saw. But yeah, he's 2-0, balling. Um, dude's getting it done. Dude is getting it done.
Making it
As for the
happen.
Giants, I'm not going to sit here and defend Daniel Jones. Like, was he worth the fourth pick? No. But Coach JB from Last Chance U was breaking down his video last night. Daniel Jones has a lot of intangibles that you can't coach. He makes a lot of above average plays, given, he makes a lot of stupid ass plays. But the Giants are not helping him out. You have Kenny Galladay, who cannot catch a goddamn pass to save his life. You have the O line, who's giving him literally 1 second in the pocket to throw the ball. Like, it's kind of like it's almost worse than the Justin Fields situation, because Justin Fields not only doesn't have help or an O line, he's just too young to know what to do. Daniel Jones has only had Saquon his entire career, and he's been hurt half of them. So with Dimes, like, yeah, you're going to make a switch to another quarterback. I'm willing to bet no matter who you draft, he's not going to do better than Daniel Jones does with what you have. Until you build your O line first, look, keep Jones. Keep Jones,
You could
build
say
up your
keep Jones and like, but you could if you put Bryce Young back there, dude, he might be a
he
little.
dies. He dies. He dies. Dude,
That's a
I guarantee,
very bold statement, Zach Watts. That's a
dude,
very bold statement.
you're gonna get the Daniel Jones, or not the Daniel Jones. You're gonna get the Justin Fields problem, bro. He just doesn't have receivers or an O line to really help him. Now Sterling Shepard's gone towards ACL. He's
Yeah.
done. So what are you doing? Like, yeah, Bryce Young's more mobile, maybe has better arm talent, but Daniel Jones isn't like borderline like idiotic. Like, he's not like
He's pretty
the
not
worst.
good.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say he's great, but at the same time, like, they're doing nothing to help this man. Nothing. It's sad. Like, it's literally sad. Like, you would think if you wasted a fourth overall pick on a guy, you would try to build around him. They're just like, nah, it's all right. They're like, we're the Giants. It's okay. We don't really care. But other than that, Saquon, 4 rushes, 45 yards, or sorry, 4 receptions, 45 yards, 14 carries, 81 yards, and a tutty. He did his thing, but oh my God, dude, the Cowboys and their false hope. You know what? I hope they keep winning, because let's face it, they're gonna get shellacked by the Eagles, or they're gonna make it to the playoffs and get trounced round one. You know what? Make it to the playoffs, play the Bucks first round so the Bucks can whip your ass again. And that way Tom Brady can cruise to another Super Bowl and he'll win and retire. And I will literally never shut up about Tom Brady another day in my life. That's that. Do you have anything left you like to say, Grayson?
I do not. I do not. Everyone, please stay safe out there with the hurricane. We're hoping to get you guys a lot of episodes this week because my schedule is pretty open and Zach's pretty open, but we're gonna play it by ear with the hurricane. Obviously, if we don't have power, we can't drop a fucking episode. So stay safe out there. Let's watch some football. And yeah, I don't really got much more to say. Jalen Hurts is that dude.
I got one more thing. To all of those that have moved down to Florida in recent years, for whatever reason, if you want to be known as a true Floridian, you do not go and buy supplies. You do not border your windows and doors. You're going to go to the liquor store. You're going to go buy you some pina colada mix, like I was drinking throughout this pod. And you're going to go sit down on your front porch and watch as the hurricane completely blows through wherever you live. And you're going to enjoy it. Because as a Floridian,
the Florida life.
Florida life. Because guess what? 99.5% of the year, you're on vacation. The other 0.05, death and destruction.
Yes.
Enjoy the death and destruction, ladies and gentlemen. It's NFL.